Vidal, how is the rain out east?
As I was just telling Bruce, we had some, I would say, a little heavy rain for about 2 hours this afternoon. But apart from that, that's it. It's not raining now. It's just, we're not having any rain or bad weather like you all have over there.
Okay.
Mm.
I see there's rain in Montego Bay. Glendon, how bad is it?
Most of the rain and stuff is out west.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. West going southwest, northwest, heading towards the front is in that area.
It's not too bad now. It kind of just eased up. It has been raining all afternoon. They say our current temperature is 76, so I don't know. But the rain just eased up. It was a bit windy earlier on, but kind of died down.
They still have severe flooding in Montego Bay City when it rains heavily, or drainage is a little better now.
No, that is a standard fear. It's even Fairview is prone to have cars underwater when it rains heavily.
Mhm.
And I can't understand why when we see the water backed up, why we feel all of a sudden we're in a boat or a submarine.
Yeah, you drive a big vehicle and you think you can take on anything, huh?
Yeah, I have seen in Fairview that pickups that there's an intersection there by the Texaco station. And it rains heavily. I've seen pickups. Well, I've seen BMW underwater there. So yeah, it gets quite heavy that side. How was the Olava Bay trip?
Oh, it was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. It was how many of us? About six of us eventually. So Dwayne, Sherry, Belinda, Angela, myself, Ian, and my daughter. So small group, but I think we had a good time. We got there before sunrise, and before any activity on the beach, really. And then saw things transform once the sun came up and the fishermen came in, and lots of activity out there. So we had a good morning.
Good, good, good.
Lots of people to see and activity and birds and yeah, it was
Oh,
very
oh,
nice.
okay, that's good. I think I might have to schedule my activities in Kingston when such things are happening. But I need to sort out my camera first or just change it altogether. At the age of the camera, do it make sense if it makes sense to try and get it fixed?
It was your camera that had an issue with communicating with the lens or something like that. Was
Yeah,
that you?
yeah, it was the 18 to 55 kit lens that had stopped for a while, but the zoom was working perfectly. I know both lenses are giving me the same message. I tried an older type Canon camera and it is giving me the same message. So I don't know if it's the lens, if it's both lenses, or uh, it is something. Well, I don't think it's both cameras, so I figure both lenses. I've not given up the ghost.
Okay.
You don't have anybody else you can try it, that who can try the lens for you on the camera.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to give me a time we can meet up for them to try it. Because I really don't see how both lenses just go at the same time, but then I don't see how both cameras also giving me the same error messages.
Mm. Mm.
Granted,
What
they are
make
all
camera is it?
Canon.
Okay.
Granted, they are old cameras, so probably they have done their time.
Well, what error message is it giving you?
Error 01, not reading the lens. Clean contacts have clean contacts still have weak, and it's no change. The only sorry, the only little ease I get, I saw on YouTube, someone said if you just slightly unlock the lens, you can get it used, but then you have no control over your aperture and you have to focus manually. And that is no fun.
Yeah. And you're getting the same, when you try both lenses on both bodies, you get the same error message on both bodies.
Same error messages, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I don't mind focusing manually. It's the control, having no control over my aperture, which is giving me a headache.
Yeah.
All right, good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
All
Night,
is
Dwayne.
well.
Night, Wayne.
All right, we want to kick off this evening with Dion, just giving us an overview of the trip, the field trip to Old yesterday, and then we'll move into the judging of the images. Our guest judge has just joined, Sir Mark McFarlane. Over to you, yeah. Oh, Ian disappeared. On. In the meantime, let me just share. Since Ian is here, let's put the slideshow of images.
Oops, sorry about that.
Sure, Ian,
I,
can go ahead.
Afternoon, everyone. Evening. Yeah, so I mean, some of the comments was made earlier on the trip, but so I think we had a good time getting there early. It's a nice beach. When we got there, there was a little activity of some fishermen there from early. And I must say, I found the day pretty welcoming in terms of people. We were threatened a little early with the rain. We had a little bit of drizzle, and then it disappeared. And in fact, the fishermen on the beach told us that don't worry about it. It's gonna go away. So that's their livelihood. So they know. So I had a good time shooting on the beach. A lot of us by the beach there, as the pre-sunrise, right there by the boats. And then we walked along that. There's a nice long beach stretch there going in the back. And I must tell you, from the times that I've been there before, the back section actually has a lot more, people put up a lot more little shacks around there for, restaurant and bar and stuff around there. And so we had something there that, people approach us to take the pictures. Some, when we took the pictures, they were fine. I don't think I remember anybody rejecting us, taking any photos in terms of the people. Series, some of the children playing around. So I thought a good spot for that shooting. And then we the trip before to Portland Cottage, we had to go through making arrangement with the diocese and then the local priest, and then to go up to the church, and then they didn't know we were coming. And this one, we just went to the church. And we got through to go and see it. Reverend was quite accommodating, says, yes, fine, go ahead, no problem. And we were able to shoot in and out the church. So that was also good there. And then we went around to the public beach, which is you have to go around to like where you're going to the power station, and then go around to the public beach. Not a lot of great shooting opportunity, but it was a lovely place. We were just sitting outside. The breeze was lovely. It was wonderful to just sit there. And then that basically took care of the general day. I went back to get fish to actually buy, fresh fish. And leaving there, in fact, Angela and I passed and we're going to run and saw this jelly coconut man. So you'll see me post that picture because I agreed with him that I'd post it, and he said I must look for him on YouTube. He has a YouTube channel and I must post it there. So I told him I'll do it. So he and his friend were sitting there. It was really quite a inviting shot. Stopped and took some pictures of him. So yeah, and that basically took care of our day. So it was a good outing, small grouping, but good outing. So I think we had a good time. Big 6 hours because Carla didn't come again because she wasn't feeling so well the night before. So we had a good time.
Good.
That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah, thank you, Elon. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Can you see my screen too?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
I can see it.
Yes, yes.
All right. So our theme for this month is new beginnings, and we had 12 submissions from our members. Tonight we will have a good friend of mine, Mark McFarlane, who will be our guest judge. So Mark has been practicing photography for the past 20 years. He started as part of the University of the West Indies camera club, where they focused a lot on the black and white form of photography. And over the years, I've been involved in different genres and levels of photography. He has a passion for photography, especially in the area of art photography. And he is known mainly in the areas of wedding and funeral photography. Let's welcome our judge, McFarlane.
All right, thank you, Dwayne. You know, I should mention that it's not just weddings and funerals, but I do mostly portraits actually. But it is that I've been doing a fair amount of work. Hi Vidal, what's up? I think that Donnet is in as well. I'm familiar with some of your names. Some of you might remember Julian Dadag was one of the persons that was instrumental in training me as at UE and stuff. And sorry, I have children in the background, and we've maintained a good friendship over the years, just the same. And you know, I participate in different exhibitions and stuff like that, and made entries to JCDC, and I'm also familiar with with the group as well that you have. And so it is that we're here to basically look at some images, and I must say that I really truly enjoyed some of the images, especially. I did think that there was some work that some persons could have done in terms of focus and different things in different images. But overall, it was a good attempt by some of the participants, and it is that I saw that one person at least is very advanced in in their work. All right. So, Dwayne, you want me to go through each images and talk about what I like about them, or what?
Yes, so critique each image and then give the score for the 3 areas.
All right, no problem. All right, so let's go to the first image. I think I have them in the same order here. Yes, A Bright New Begin. All right, so let's go through the images. The first one here, Bright New Beginning. I thought it was an excellent title, and especially when considering the theme. You know, I saw that most persons that I think they stuck to the theme to a large extent, and it is that it was up to me now to define or differentiate whether it is that each person just try to figure out where each person was gonna go with their image, because everything basically was tying into something starting, something was anew, something was different, and it is that I said some of the images really stood out. But one of the things that I remember with landscapes and stuff like that, this one was a very, I don't know if the person was trying to be a little different, but usually when it is that we're coming in terms of the thirds and stuff like that, we know that we'll be showing like a third of the ground. And so I thought that the image was a little too close to the ground. So I don't know if I think it was deliberately done like this. I think the person might know. But I thought that it is that, you know, just showing a little bit more of the foreground, even though it's in silhouette or in the darkness, would still have led to a stronger image. Because I also did some cropping mentally of the image and stuff. And so I thought that there were areas in which it is that it could have stood out, could have been stronger. So I had to pick somewhere that it was somewhere in the middle in basically the different aspects of in the photography. So composition, I didn't feel like the person was too low, that it is that I'd give them somewhere between 1 and 3. But I also didn't think that they composed it adequately enough that I would have given them like a 8 or 10. And so it is that I basically stood around in the middle with basically all of the scores for this image. Being the first image that I saw, I was also, it basically set the standard by which I was going to basically critique all of the images and to score. So I'm usually a bit more reserved when it is that I'm scoring the first image. But after going through and stuff, I think that the score for this one was really adequate. And so I gave it a 15 out of 30. So it was like halfway there. As I said, there was some areas I thought that we could have done some more work on the image. I don't know if anybody else has a different opinion, but this was where I saw this image at the time when I saw it. And it does depict the new beginning, does depict the theme. I also think doing like the next time you score, you can add a category for relevance to theme. You heard?
Okay. I believe so one was composition.
One was composition, one was technical aspect, and one was the impact of the image.
Right. So the relevance would have fall under impact.
Impact. Yeah, I figure that's where it would go in, but I think that that is something that could be in a category just for itself, just because sometimes persons will stray from the theme and say you want to also reward the persons that stay on the theme as well.
Okay, noted.
All right. So anybody has anything that they want to add or think about this image?
Well, we'll leave the comments until the
Until the end. All right, no
Yeah.
problem. All right, thank you guys for trying. All right, Dwayne, go over to the next image. So that was a 15 out of 30. This image was a stronger image, and Dwayne's computer isn't depicting the image that I saw. I'll go back. Isn't depict because I saw a much sharper image and more detailed image from the file. I did like the composition. I did like the different elements. I thought that the person trying to put back a little bit more light on the right side was a little too much. But other than that, it is that I thought it was a better composed image than the previous one. And as I said, I kind of like the foreground and the middle ground elements. Yes, they're in a bit of silhouette and stuff. And I like the sky. I like just how the, as I said, compose it. I like how it is that it's almost like it coming into a V shape. And at the same time, it is that the palm trees on the left were still somewhere around at a third. And the additional elements for me also help to carry the image. So for impact, I gave this person an 8. And for the technical aspect, I kind of struggled, but I decided to be fair to them and give them also an 8 for it. And as I said, I like the composition. I liked how they composed the image. I liked just how they had the different elements in the different positions. And I thought that where they were positioned was almost perfect for based on where this image was. And it is that, so I end up giving them a 24 out of 30 overall, at 8 across the board in all categories. The baby roots. Yeah. So I think the baby roots, I think this one was a bit trickier and a little more difficult to score. The image wasn't, for me personally, that I received was not sharp. All right. And I saw that, and even on this when I'm looking, it seemed like the focus is more, it's actually behind the roots where see those black spots near the top, that the focus is actually shifting somewhere all the way around there. And so the areas of the roots that I would have personally liked to have seen in focus was not the areas in focus. Even where that water droplet is coming off of the plant near on the left side of the image, if I could have even had that sharp, even be more focused on it, I think it would have been a better shot. So even sometimes you can show the whole detail of the plant, but sometimes you just have to narrow in on the subject. And I can see you can still make it a tighter crop. If we're using a macro lens or something like that, we would have gotten a tighter shot on it, so that we'd have had more focus. The image would have been a little simpler. There wouldn't have been as much clutter and stuff through the image, and a lot of things that they have to be trying to decipher. What is this? What is this person saying? What is the story? What is the story that this person is, that I'm trying to sell with this image? Because all I'm seeing currently now is really that there's some roots in one garbage pan. Or here's an arcade that was just shocked. Or for me, I think the person, I don't know if it's that the person would ever had an opportunity to do another shot or something, or them just say, me just need to do that assignment. So me just fling up a picture, boom, and get a shot. So the impact for me was very low, was lower than the first image. So I actually gave this person a 4. I gave them a little bit more mark for technical, which because I thought that I could see what they were trying to do. But as I said, that they never got the focus completely accurately in the areas that I thought that the image would have had a better, would have stood out better. And the composition was the middle of the pack. I thought it could have been stronger. So I ended up giving them a total score also of 15. So what you'll find with my scores that I seem to have a lot of low scores and high scores overall. So this person also received a 15 out of 30 for their entry. this image, I stood and was hoping that this person never just copy it out of the Bible or something, or just copy it somewhere, but that they really took the image. So I was actually doing, if it wasn't 2 o'clock in the morning or something like that, I'd have called you to ask if this person really took this image, or if it is that they just actually just saw something in the Bible that was already highlighted somewhere and grabbed it, because it's something that I've seen many times before. So it is, so I'm judging it based on the fact that it is that the person at them take it. All right. And if they, and it, as I said, it basically is impactful, because this is not something that a lot of persons would automatically think to do, that they could just read for something in a book. And so this was not something that I had expected to see. And so it grabbed my attention immediately that the person would have attempted to do something like this, because as I said, it's something that has been done, but I never thought that they would actually even think to, or perceive to think to do this using the scriptures. And so I gave them a 7 in terms of the impact of the image, but it is that I never gave them much for the technical nor the composition, because there isn't much in terms of composition. It's the dead center of this it's the dead center of the image. And yes, it is that they have captured all of verse 16 and complete end of verse 18. So this is dead smack in the middle, and there's not hardly anything more that they could have done much with it. So I did give them a little higher on the composition side, but it wasn't for me that great an image to try to give composition marks for in the first place. So overall, this person received an 18 out of the 30 for their entry. Fertile. I like this image. And the image that doing basically is putting isn't even the image. The image I received was a sharper. And from I looked at it, I was like, whoa, this was very good. This was, I think this person, if you guys are allowed to retouch, right? Any form of retouch, like
yes.
Right. So like the patches on the left here, I thought they could have gotten rid of it here. I hope you see my pen.
No. Can you yes, seeing it now.
Right. Right. So I felt if they had done that little patch on the left, just get rid of some of the areas that you don't think will help the image. There's also this smudge of green over on the right side in the middle of the lawns. You could have gotten rid of some of those little things that stood out, and because it took away from the image, it didn't really help the image. And I thought that would have helped in terms of making the impact of the image stand out even more. I liked how the person composed this. As you can see, there's an element of grass. You can see the borders on at the base of the image, and then you can see where it is that this new beginning, where it is that they have showcased that there is fresh dirt, but not only that there is some dirt, that there also is a sign of life that has now emerged from the area. And you can, and I tell you, it was a nice story, because the houses are there and everything. And if it is that the farmer was just somewhere out there toiling, would have made it, and would have made the impact stand out even more. But it is that I gave them an 8 across the board for basically everything, and so I gave them a 24 also for this submission. That growing up, you're reaching out doing.
Yeah.
This is growing up.
Yes.
This image was not one of my favorite images. I thought this was a lazy cop out of doing the assignment and just getting an image and cutting out the mother out of the image. I did think that with the mother being in the image, it might have been a stronger image, because here it is that I'm seeing these hands, but so I'm seeing a full set of hands. Like, see, you can see that there's at least 2 different hands reaching into the image to the baby, but it is that I can't tell what it is. So the storytelling for me was very poor. The impact for me was poor. I could see the person trying to do something in terms of some composing the child in an appropriate manner, but it is that I didn't think that enough was done to actually have allowed me to even think that this was a fair submission by the individual to put out there for me to score. And so as I started, this was just a house picture, and it was just something taken from a long time, and then just cut it out and call it entry. We do more assignment, and I didn't like it at all, and so I gave the person overall a 10. So never stood out to me at all. Nothing really. But it is a new beginning. And as I said, if I had given the person that, hey, they stood to the theme, maybe I'd given some more marks in that area. But it never stood out to me in any way, shape, or form. Heralds. This image was maybe one of the blurriest images I saw through all of the critique, through all of the judging that I was doing. Was the softest image I saw. I know that different person will maybe at different levels of our photography and stuff, but I did think that having the person who took this image should have just allowed, even if it was their phone, just to be rested on a surface. So it is that, they could have gotten a better image, or maybe they cropped it a little too much, because now it is that I'm not seeing much detail in terms of the buildings and stuff like that from the submission I received. You can see the fireworks. So it is that it was impactful. I could see how they compose it. But in terms of the technical aspect, it is that this image fell low in that area. And because of that, I gave them a 15. So it was impactful. The composition was decent, but it was not a strong image in the technical aspect of the photography that I was perceiving or hoping for from the group. You're not even show that image. That image shell is sharp, it's odd, This is look like something that I may expect from Vidal or done it to come out. So this was very, very good. There wasn't anything that I could have asked this individual to actually do. I saw multiple components, multiple layers. I see the different shades of gray, everything. So for me, this image was above everything else that I saw. From the moment I saw it, it was sharper than this image that I'm looking at even now as well. And I was looking at it on a 24-inch monitor at the time at work. And from I looked at it, I'm just like, yeah, man, this person understand the assignment, and them never come for play, then come for win. So if this person forget the $1,000 prize or 2,000 or the 10,000 prize, whichever one now work we're doing, then it is that this person has truly made an entry and has decided that they're coming out for war. This was perfect timing, and a lot of persons don't understand, like even landscape images and stuff like that. That there's many times that you stand the opportunity to get images like these, but sometimes you have to be patient. You also have to be willing to go out early in the morning, and some persons just not willing to get up out of their bed 4, 5, 3 o'clock in the morning just to get ready to take some pictures. I had the opportunity one time in the past of actually capturing a meteor in one of my photos. And it was that we left Kingston at 2 a.m. to go to Duckenfield in mosquitoes and everything, because there was a meteor shower in the night. And so about 3 of us, a guy named Robin Clark, Julian Dadag, and myself, and we were just there in the bush with the mosquitoes then, with the tripod set up, and just capturing possible meteors for the night. And one of my frames, there was a meteor through it. But it is that in order to receive it, many persons said, wow, they want to do that, they want to do that. But once they heard that you have to go to your bed 2 o'clock in the morning to go out into the field to wait for the image, it is that a lot of persons were not willing to make that kind of sacrifice. And I saw where it is that this person basically went in early, was prepared, must have maybe scouted the area before, something that Dennis Valentine used to do before. You know, go on trips and him go out and him just everybody take picture, and then at the end of the day, him just sit down and just bust a couple frame, done, and then him get all of the prize. So you have to be patient and understand what you're doing. And this person basically showcased that they were knowledgeable about their work, and there was details in every single area of this image. And so I gave them a perfect 30. This image, it's not a bad image, but one of the things that I'm looking for when I look at a photograph is I'm looking for a story. And this image, the both parties are not even looking at me, they're not looking at each other. They are looking off somewhere that leads my mind to wonder, what is it that they are looking for? What is it that they are trying to see? So I can't look at it as an abstract at all, because this doesn't leave my mind to wonder about anything. I'm not seeing anything to wonder about. They're just looking off screen, and it is that the person didn't think to at least use an image in which they were focused right back here to me, the person here in the background. Or if it is that you want to see some viewers in there, put someone in the background celebrating, congratulating them, or something about this new beginning. But it is that they stuck to the theme, and this is a new beginning. I think in terms of the technical aspect, it was okay, but in terms of, as I said, impact, I wasn't impacted by the image at all. And maybe, as I say, I might have done a little bit of wedding photography, so I thought this was the person could have selected a better image to have sent to the group, at least having the persons focused here, or if they're focused out, allow what they're viewing to also be seen. You might have to make it crop and make it nice and tight and make it more attractive, but because they're looking out of frame, it is that it would be very important to also show what is it that they're looking at, or at least create some space, push them over to the right. So it is that you can see that, hey, they're looking somewhere, so something over there is really pulling them in. But I gave this person a 13 out of 30. And you know, after coming off, looking at Komorebi, yeah, boy, you have to come good, right? And so this one, as I said, even if the person had gotten or selected an image in which the bride and the groom were focused towards us, I think it would have been more impactful. And even having them do something like the one that we did at the end, Pledging Forever, in which they were looking at each other, it sells a better story, and it's something that I think that a couple would even find more attractive and would have been more impactful for each of us to be viewing. New Journey. I like this image. I liked the image. I thought the composition was off a little bit. I think the dog could have been moved a little bit. But other than that, I really thought that the person did a pretty good job. I thought they could have done a little bit more in terms of the composition. But overall, I thought that their attempt with the submission was decent. There are some things that I thought that they could have done better, and maybe position the dog a little different. As I said, get maybe the angles in terms of where the roads are merging to be slightly off. But I did like where they placed the homes and stuff like that, above a third, so almost in the upper 2/3 and stuff, and not at the lower third. And so I thought that it was a good submission, a good entry. And it is that I want to encourage the person just to just think about the image some more. Just think about when you actually have control over the dog and the position of stuff, you can get yourself as quick as possible into an area where it is that you can get an image off quickly. Sometimes don't worry about just trying to get a shot. You may want to get a series. So it is that you can pick out something quickly. If it is that like the dog is moving, so you can this is once it is that the shutter speed isn't too slow and stuff, you can move around a little bit and maybe get some more composition on the image. But I figured that you must have selected this one because it was the strongest image, and yeah, I liked your submission. So I gave the person a 23. This image I thought was a very, very good image. I scored the person poorly in the technical areas, but it is that in terms of impact and its composition, I really, really liked it. New Year, new Sunday service. The story, I think the story that this one is selling, I think I could have even moved this person in terms of the story. This is a very good story. So when we're talking earlier about selling a story that the person's in new begins looking out on a screen, this is what we're talking about now. We're talking about you're seeing what it is that the story, you can see the story. Here is the pastor putting up his hands and asking someone, hey, was there anybody in this new year that wants to make a change? Come over to the Lord. And here it is that you have this man or these persons at the back that are saying yes to Jesus or something. So the story is a strong story, very strong. And as I said, there are just different areas I thought that a person could have added. And if a person had like a proper SLR or stuff, I think the person could have really just nailed in on this image even more. But I gave this person basically a 19. Right now, I'm thinking of giving the person a 20. I think in terms of impact, it was really, really nice and stuff. You're doing again. This image was very good. Very, very, very good. I didn't like that we cropped off a little piece at the top of the crown of his head. But other than that, I thought it was a really good submission. Personally, I think this was the image that I found that was my second favorite image. It still only received 24 based on how I had scored it. But it is that this was, maybe if I had to pick a second, I would say that this image was the second best image from what I saw in terms of the submissions for the evening. You can see the story, you can see the impact. Here it is that this special day, and it is that they're sharing a moment. He's just intensely just looking at her, and she's just so excited that it is that she can't even meet his eyes. But can you imagine if she had lifted her eyes and was just looking him right down back into his soul? My God. And so I really like this image. There was not much more I can say about it. The technical aspects was good. It was well composed. And as I said, from the I was impacted. I felt some doing.
Repeat that.
No, your voice. All right. To give their views now about the image.
All right, you've heard the results from the judge. I'll open the floor for any comments or questions for the judge.
Mark, this is Bruce Taylor.
Yes, Bruce.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time to judge the images. I agreed with 90% of what you said in terms of your critique and your evaluation of the images. I've always had a little difficulty assessing how, when we have a competition like this and you have a title of your image,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how much we should give in terms of a score for the title tied into the image, you know, the relationship, or how, or should the image tell the story? For instance, the one that you, one of the recent ones you critique, the church, New Year's,
Yeah.
right? No, I thought it would have been stronger if I saw a sign saying New Year's, you know, first service for the year to tie it in. But
Mm-hmm.
it's a nice composition, you know, the pastor and the people holding their hands up. But it didn't tell me anything. If I didn't hear the title, I wouldn't have picked up. It's New Year's, it's a new beginning. That's just my comment, and we
No,
can.
you're right, you know, because I actually didn't like the title either, you know.
But I don't know how important the title is. The image to speak for itself, to tell a story.
Yeah, and that's why the person I in terms of the impact, I didn't give them like a full mark for that one as well, because I said
Right.
that in terms of the technical, I skipped. They did very poor, bottom third. But
Yeah.
it is that I thought that like a better name for it would just be just call it New Beginning. Because once a person raises up their hands, it's almost like they're going to make a submission. They're going to make a appeal to the Lord in some way or form. So you could say, hey, this is basically the start of a new life.
The point I'm making, Mark, is that I do that every Sunday at my church. You know, 52 Sundays of the year. So
No,
you know, what is it?
No, I understand that, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I understand that. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it is that you can use this expression or this judging to, based on the theme, to depict what it is, a story that's being sold. So even though it's something you do every week, this action that the person has actually ties into the theme.
Okay.
The person, he could possibly be saying, hey, yes, even though it is that their hands is in the air, and it could be that they're just lifting up their hand in praise, but it could, because the pastor said he has his hands up too, and it's like he could be making an appeal.
Like a play.
And yes, his hand goes up, which just stands out prominently in the frame.
Good. I get your point. Okay. Good. Thanks again.
Yeah, man. But but also, Bruce, thank you, is one of the reasons why I was saying to doing that. Hey, give some points also for relevance to theme, because that's also an area where we don't now use the name to see if it's a nice name for the image as well. That's what I was saying. Put something else there. Because a whole heap of things judging at that impact technical composition, you know. I say so I had to be going back and forth. We say, all right, it says this and this under this category, this and this under the category. But I thought just having something in terms of relevance to the theme with the name would just have been, because this for me was one of them that I never liked the name. I thought another name would have been better for this image.
Okay, yeah. Well, something I suppose the administration will look at.
Yeah, man.
Mark?
I have some comments too.
Yes, done it.
No, this is not done it.
Okay.
This is Michelle.
Okay, Michelle, go ahead.
Angela. You said I'm going to defend my picture.
No problem.
That was the one with the baby.
Yeah.
I heard you say that the picture was taken a long time ago.
Yeah.
That child is just 4 weeks old, you know.
The way how it looked, it came up.
Hold
Angela,
on, let me explain.
Angela, what are they feeding that baby, Angela?
It's the way, I think it's the way the picture was taken. I was miles away from home, you know, and time was catching up. I didn't have the right picture, which was on my laptop. I had no laptop with me. I had no choice but to use my phone and take another picture and submit it to Donnet just the night before, just to meet the deadline. I was not at home when I took that picture.
I believe, you know, because that's exactly what I said, you know, that the person was just hurrying up to
I
send
asked the
something
mother,
in.
you know, the mother said she Yes, Sherard, it's true. Pure breast milk, nothing else. The mother did not want her. The first picture I had that I took, I went back there a second time and I did not have a laptop. So I had no choice than to use my phone, take a picture. And as I always tell my students when I was in the classroom, when you submit your question paper, if you even don't have any content, write your name on the paper and I give you a mark.
Yeah.
So sometimes you don't assume because people have different things do happen. Circumstances alter cases.
Yeah, man.
And that was what happened. That was what happened to me on this occasion. Didn't have my laptop. And I just could not do anything because I was miles away from home.
Oh, no problem,
So
man.
instead of sending in nothing, I took something and I sent it in.
Yeah, and I'm glad you did. Very, very glad you did. Because the most important thing is one of the things that's important is also that it is that when these things are done, we all participate. And but as I said, it felt that way, and it's fine for me to feel that way about the image. I know, but I'm glad you submitted. I actually thought he was doing his image. So I was actually planning to cuss him off about it later and stuff like that, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually thought he was doing his image. I was planning to talk to him about it afterwards and say, brother, you can't do that. Yeah, participation very important, and it's something that even sometimes, because I'm still a part of the UA Camera Club, where I teach the youngsters and stuff. But and it's one of the things that we've been trying a lot to do, get young persons to everybody to participate. Because what you do find is that you find the same 5, 6, 7, 8 people coming, doing everything at a time, and when younger persons come, they're not also joining in. And so we're trying to do everything that we can basically to get them out. So even sometimes I'm going on a shoot or stuff like that, and I have my clients and stuff. I try to bring one of them out, one of the newer persons, so try to get them wet them nose into taking pictures. I got one young lady now just a fire up her camera now and she love it. She could buy a Nikon D5300 and you know she try her little thing. She couldn't afford a $1,000 cameras, but she could buy a $300 used camera and stuff. You know, just try to help them and navigate this time. And it was just because she participated that drove the desire to do more. And so your participation is very important, and it is something that will help the group and everybody to also want to add their images over time.
Okay.
Mark?
Yes, Donald.
I tend to agree with Bruce on his comment about that church scenario.
Uh-huh.
I think that a lot of times when people in church raise their hand is really in agreement, but that's not what I'm contesting. The composition felt a little bit off to me. The minister in
Dwayne,
that
bring back the image. Hold on. Dwayne, bring about that image at the same time to talk, please.
the minister in that photograph felt like the subject, the person that everybody wants to be looking at. The man in the back of the church, his body took up about 2/3 of the imagery.
Of the image, yeah.
That threw me off a little bit.
Dwayne, bring about the image, please.
To recompose, I would either change my angle a little bit, not this one. Go up to
The church one doing.
yeah. This guy in the back is really taking up too much of the composition.
I agree with you now. But one of the things that for me that I was looking at especially is that he, for me, was the subject. Because he's the one that is going about the new beginning, not the pastor.
No, how can you tell that this is about new beginning? It felt like whatever the minister was saying is in agreement, which is usually the gesture in churches. I believe is a sensitive, is a good photograph. I would crop off the top where the
The
bottom of
TV
the
is.
monitor is. I would
I
zoom
agree.
into him a little bit, and I would reduce the size of the guy in the back. There's too much information in this image, and to me it really does. I don't see what suggests or the feeling you get of new beginning. What was the title? The title was New Beginning.
No, this title for this one was New Year, New Year Sunday service.
New Year's resolution.
No, New Year Sunday service, right?
Well, Sunday
Just saying
service.
overall Sunday service.
I
So
think
that's why Bruce was saying. That's why Bruce was saying that it would have been nice to actually seeing something that says New Year, something at the top of the image.
the mood is there, but I don't know if I necessarily get new beginning.
Okay.
I am in agreement, but that is my take on it. If I had to look at it from the point of composition, I would have that, and
Yeah.
mood and feeling, I would say that. But you're looking at these two different sensibilities. You're
Right.
looking at it out of your experience.
Right. And also, remember, this was also one of the weaker images that I scored as well. It says, even though I said that I gave it some marks, it didn't score over 20. It still was less than most of the other images. Because I did see where it is that it could have been used with a crop, but I differ in terms of the man, because as I said, for me, I felt, or where I was judging that he was the focus and not the pastor.
And not the pastor, right?
Right.
Right.
So from that aspect where I'm perceiving, because remember, I'm trying to figure out what is the story that this person is saying. And so I grabbed onto this man and said, this must be the man that he's selling the story, because this is the man, he's the one that's most in focus, and he, and it is that he's making a commitment to what this man on the stage is saying.
Right.
But for me,
Yeah.
compositionally, I could say that the guy is the subject as well, because he's on the right third, and
He's
the
on the
pastor
third,
is on the right,
on the other
left
third.
And
Right.
there's that leading line from him with the hands going right to the pastor.
Correct.
I do agree with you that the black and white one with the rays of the sunlight coming through the trees is very powerful. It's very, very, very powerful.
Yes.
Very tasteful, nicely edited.
Well done, yeah.
We're reading all the levels. I think this is really nice. I could live with it on my wall.
Yeah, my girl, you see it. Yo!
Is that a potential sale for the entrant?
Yeah, this
Somebody
was nice.
Are there any other questions or comments?
But for his image, I actually thought that it should have been a series. It should have been a group of shots, maybe 3 images or so.
That's a good suggestion. We have not been doing that, but that's a good suggestion.
Yeah. Angela.
Yes. Hi, Mark. I'm responsible for the wedding of the Jewish couple. I'm so glad that you were so impressed by my image.
Welcome.
This couple came in from Negril to the synagogue, and I said to them, "You guys have a photographer?" And they said, "No, it's just the 2 of us." I said, "Would you like me to do your pictures?" And they said, "Sure." And I said to myself, how come the bride has on red and the groom has on white? And I said, well, this is a very nice image. So I put them to sit on the bench and took them. They were supposed to be looking in each other's eyes, but she was not looking in his eyes.
Yeah.
But it still came off as a new beginning for them. And I'm just glad that you liked it.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I mean, must I tell you thank you still now, because you showed me the image that I could enjoy it,
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I'd like to hear from the black and white person. Who is that?
Can I say something to
Go ahead, Bruce.
Angela?
Oh.
Just a reminder, Angela, that we try not to go to the edge too close, particularly when we're doing portraits of persons. Just leave a little space.
Yes, yes, I know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I commented about Bruce about her cutting off the top of the cap.
Right.
I'd actually commented about it.
Right.
All right, so we have 5 images that scored over 20. And I just call those images on their scores and just ask the photographer to identify themselves. And if you feel like, tell the story behind it. So the 5th place image is New Journey Every Morning. That scored 23. Who was that photographer?
Where is it?
The story is that well, there's a dog. We're going walking.
The dog went walking.
The dog is walking us, eh? We are see the lead go, the leash comes to us. So it's my sister and I, and we're walking the dog, and it's early. And it's one of those mornings when the sky is really red. I'm sorry that the color didn't come out in the sky as I saw it. It was really a deep red, but you sort of get it reflected in the image. So the dog has that red color on the ground and the sidewalk and so on. But it was that he was looking forward so much to walking, and I thought that's it. It's a new journey, and it's new to him every morning. He's a dog.
Yeah,
Just
with
going
this
out
one.
to the house.
Yeah, with this one as well, you could have gotten a little lower, and you'd have been able to get a little bit more like the edges of the roads coming down into the corners. I thought it coming down a little lower would have been, and as I said, just put the dog a little more somewhere on the right somewhere. But I still do like where the homes and stuff are. But coming down a little lower would have helped the composition a bit more.
That would have made it half and half.
Yeah.
And you would have preferred that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or even just move the dog.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, no problem. We have a 3-way tie for 24 points. The first one is Pledging Forever. I think that was Angela.
That was Angela.
All right. Next was
Fertile. I remember Fertile.
Who's that photographer?
Fertile, the green landscape.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that's mine.
Yeah, man. That was good.
Hold on. You said that there were some areas that you would take out something. Can you bring up the image again, please?
I was saying that I'd have filled out the little brown red dirt on the left side of the image that's in the grass. As in I'd have patched it out with green. That little area right there, so right.
Yeah, I don't do that. This is as natural as it gets. I
never said What me just I said that if it is like this is just something that possibly could have do, and it would have just.
No, I understand you. I understand where you're coming from. But as an old-fashioned photographer, we leave the real things real.
Roger that.
If we had light wire, power lines or something in places where it disturbed the naturalness of the scene, we'll take it out.
Right.
But that is part of the cultivation. And I enjoyed, actually I went to this place to work and came upon this. This is in Manchester. I was looking for red earth, Watland red earth buildings, and came upon this. And I could understand why in those areas, because of the topography, they would use stones and red dirt to make houses. I came upon this and there were a lot of areas like this where they were farming, but this was the only little place where they had growth. And I say, yeah, let's capture this. I enjoyed being there. I enjoyed doing the picture.
Yeah, man, it was very good. No, cause I'm gonna say you literally could see where there's empty dirt, and it is where we see the new sprouts, new
Right.
life. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Very, very nice on it. Very nice.
Thanks.
Thank you for that one, Donuts. The next image that score 24 is New Day, New Year.
Yeah.
Can I have the photographer identify themselves?
Person might not be here.
Let me take a quick look to see who this was. I believe that was Marcel. Yes, that was Marcel. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing it right. Marcel Smart. And then the winning image scoring a perfect 30. Let me see if I can speak some Nigeria. Komorebi. Can a photographer identify themselves?
Hi, good night, everyone. That was my image.
Nice.
So this image was taken by Newcastle. A few weeks ago, my wife and I decided to drive up to Holywell, and it was one of those days when it was, well, afternoons, when it was very overcast. And, sometimes you would struggle to find a picture. And to be honest, we were driving back down from Holywell now. And I saw the light rays coming through. So it was very overcast, a lot of cloud cover. And then over on the right, I saw the light beams coming through the trees. And where I saw it, the road was too narrow to park and jump out. So I basically drove to Newcastle, parked the car, and walked back. So to capture the image. And I did capture a few of these. So there are a few more like this, but this is the one that I chose to edit. And I'll probably go back and edit a few of the others. Coming straight out of camera, the scene was very good, but it did take some processing as well. And I just encourage others to, I found a photographer who likes black and white images, and I consulted him and got a lot of advice in terms of the post-processing. So I'd encourage us all to get the advice of our colleagues as well, because he gave me some very good insights, and I think that has made the image what it is, and I'm just happy that everyone liked it.
Excellent, excellent. Congratulations.
Very good.
Yeah. I will have to tally the group scores and share with everyone later on. But from the submissions we had, there were 3 groups. So I'll be sure to send out the tallies later today or this evening or tomorrow.
Dwayne, can you remind us what the next theme is?
The next theme.
Shades of red.
Yes, that
Valentine.
surely is. Yes.
Shades of red for Valentine.
Shades of red. So the challenge for that one is capture images dominated by the color red, exploring its various shades and meanings.
Doing you mind if I show an image before you guys leave though? Like I wanted
Sure.
Angela to show that sometimes don't be afraid to even with the little baby, just go in, like even on this image here. I say I really started with photography, black and white film. So I still have a black and white still in me. But Angela, you don't have to be afraid to go in on the image like you see here. Don't be afraid to get into the details and stuff like that. Nowadays, a lot of persons would have maybe try to soften this guy's skin and do all manner of things. But sometimes just go. You don't have to show the whole baby. Just bring a little aspect of the baby because it still will depict a new beginning and stuff like that. And it still can be a stronger image than just showing the whole baby. All right.
Thanks for the feedback, Mark. All right, I think we had a good representation for this month's theme. I encourage us to go out and shoot and prepare for our next theme. And let's hope we have a bit more in terms of number of submissions going forward. All right, thank you everyone for your time and
Excuse me, Dwayne.
Yes, Bruce, go ahead.
Can you tell me anything about the 19th to be advised workshop?
So we're still working on topics for those workshops. If you notice on the schedule actually has most of those are to be determined. But there should be a workshop for the preparation of this guys. Hold on. So Ian should be preparing a workshop for April's theme Up in the Air. And we are trying to secure someone in the industry to prepare the workshop for August, which is stop motion. So we have those two that we're trying to secure for the themes themselves.
Can I make a suggestion for February? February being reggae month, right? There are a number of photographers who are very experienced in shooting concerts. Maybe if we could get somebody to do a workshop for us on that, some of us could probably go out and capture some of the events.
Okay. Got that down.
And doing talking about concert,
persons.
there's a concert for tomorrow as well here for Bob Marley's birthday in Emancipation Park.
Oh,
so that's a place that if you have your camera, it's free. It's a reggae event. Luciana and some bunch of other persons will be performing.
All right, that's good. So those in that area, you can make that an assignment for yourselves to get some practice in. All right, if there's no other business, I'd like to call this meeting to a close. Nothing else? All right. Thank you everyone for joining and have yourself a good evening.
Night, night.
Night,
All
everyone.
right, take care.
Good night.
Take
All
care.
right, night.
Night all.